All right, the Nats take on the Fish, 6:40 Eastern first pitch on Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. Miami's minus 160, totals 8.5. Pt.2 for Miami. UNDERDOG for Washington. And real quick here, guys, we improved to 5-0 in our last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on Pt.2 yesterday. And the good news is we have another crowd pleaser teaser going off here today. Before I go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on Pt.2. And once again, I'm currently 5-0 in my last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on that website. I also have packages on that site starting at just $1.99. And just remember here, guys, if you sign up for a membership here today on my website, you're actually going to get access to that membership every single day all the way through the end of May. And if you want to see my current sports betting record, you can actually do that for free right now by going to the homepage at Pt.2. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on Pt.2 is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And, well, at the moment, I currently have over 775 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. But as far as this Washington-Miami game is concerned, well, UNDERDOG, he's been pretty terrible for the Nats. That's kind of why, I was laughing a little bit when I announced his name. Adon, he's got a 1-6 record, a 7.03 ERA. Now, the righty has had some serious control issues, and that's nothing to laugh at. He's walked 23 batters compared to just 29 strikeouts. He's got himself a whip of just 1.72. Now, the Nats have also gone just 2-6 straight up in their last 8, with losses against the likes of Houston, the New York Mets, and this very Miami team. And speaking of the Marlins, they got the W in 3 out of their last 5 themselves. And they've actually done a pretty nice job this year at the plate. Matter of fact, the Fish are currently in the top 10 in the bigs right now in team batting average. And they're also amongst the better home run hitting teams in the National League right now. Jorge Soler's got 7 bombs on the year, 18 RBI for the outfielder. Meanwhile, Jazz Chisholm's batting .303 with 6 home runs and 25 RBI himself. And even if the bats don't come alive here for Miami, this is a Marlins pitching staff who's done a real nice job this season. They're allowing just 3.8 runs a game. And they're actually in the top 10 in opponents' batting average. Now, they also have Cody Poteet, who's looked real good at limited action this season. Now, out of 16 1/3 innings of work, the righty's got himself a .55 ERA, along with a .98 whip. When it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings got over the posted number. The Marlins are also 4-1 to the over in their last 5 divisional ball games at home. Meanwhile, the Nats saw 3 out of their last 4 divisional outings on the road get over the line themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Miami, minus 160 in the over 8.5 runs. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Tigers taking on the Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Tampa Bay's minus 270, total 7 runs. Shane McClanahan for Tampa Bay, Bo Breesky for Detroit. And even though Breesky's shown some pretty good stuff this season, he's still 0-2 on the year and in search of his first win, in search of his first victory. Now, the Tigers have struggled away from Detroit this season. They're just 5-10 straight up on the road, and they score fewer runs at the plate on the road than any other team in the bigs right now. So certainly struggling at the dish. And unfortunately for Tigers fans, well, they're taking on Shane McClanahan here today, who struck out 58 batters already in just over 39 innings. Now, the lefties also got an impressive 2.52 ERA and a .92 whip. And even if for some reason McClanahan struggles, the Rays have done a nice job getting on base in the Trop. They currently find themselves in the top 10 of the majors in home hits. Manny Margot, he's batting .348 for the Rays, along with 21 RBI. Meanwhile, Brandon Lau and Wander Franco, they've combined for 9 home runs between the two of them as well. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, Tampa Bay's 13-7 to the under in the Trop. Meanwhile, Detroit's 12-3 to the under in their travels. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Tampa Bay -1.5 and the under 7 runs. All right, next contest I have for you. It is going to be the Cards taking on the Mets. Let's see. And the remote's broken. All right, Cards taking on the Mets, game 2. And that's going to be a 6:40 Eastern start time. Now, the Mets are -$1.25, and the total's at 8. I have no free pick or paid pick for this game. All right, next matchup. It is going to be the Padres taking on the Phillies. 6:45 Eastern first pitch. Philadelphia is -$1.15. Total's 8.5. Zach Eflin possible for the Fightins. Mike Clevenger for San Diego. Now, Clevenger is still looking for his first win of the season. Just 9 innings of work under his belt for the righty. Clev's also got himself an ERA of 5 even and a whip of 1.67. And as good as the Pods have looked on the road this year, they do give up their fair share of runs. They're actually in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game away from home. They've also walked a whole bunch of batters in that same category. And that's certainly bad news for Padres fans because the Phillies are a big OPS team. And as a matter of fact, their lineup's leading the majors right now in team OPS, and they're also in the top 3 in team batting average. No real surprise there. Now, Bryce Harper, he's hitting .305 with 9 homers and 27 RBI. Harper's also in the top 10 in home runs, RBI, and OPS. Meanwhile, Gene Segura, he's hitting .309 with 6 home runs and 19 runs scored. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, the Phils went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, the Padres saw their last 3 straight on the road all get over the total as well. I'm going to lean toward Philadelphia -$1.15 and the over 8.5 runs. All right, next ball game. It is going to be Yankees taking on the O's. 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Now, the New York Yankees are -220 with the total at 8.5. Jameson Taillon for New York. Spencer Watkins for Baltimore. And even though Watkins is struggling this season, the O's have definitely played their best baseball at Camden Yards. They currently have a winning record in Baltimore, and they've been terrific cashing in on the run line there. Matter of fact, the O's are currently 11-6 against the number in their last 17 at home. And that, of course, is good for 65% in that particular category. When it comes to hitting the baseball, Anthony Santander and Cedric Mullins, they've both combined for 11 home runs between the two of them. Now, they're taking on a Yankee club who's been really good this year themselves, but actually struggles getting on base on the road. And as a matter of fact, the Bombers are currently in the bottom 10 of the bigs right now in road hits. What else am I trying to say here, guys? Total-wise, 8 out of these teams' last 10 meetings fell under the posted number. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. The Yankees have also gone 11-6 to the under on the road. Meanwhile, Baltimore is 13-4 to the under in their own stadium. They're also 72% to the under at any location. I'm going to lean toward Baltimore +1.5, keeping this one close, and the under 8.5 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Mariners taking on the Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Toronto's -145, totals 8 runs. Jose Barrios for Toronto, Logan Gilbert for Seattle. Now, Gilbert's off to a real nice start for Seattle this year. He's got a 4-1 record and a 2.13 ERA. Now, the righty's also got himself a bunch of strikeouts. He's fanned 42 batters in just 38 innings of work. And when it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Mariners actually have a winning record against the run line on the road. Now, they're taking on a Toronto club who's actually quite the opposite. These guys have covered in only 6 out of 17 home games with regard to the run line. And when it comes to straight-up victories, straight up wins and losses, the Jays have lost 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Now, pitching-wise, Jose Barrios takes the hill today for Toronto. He's got a 5.82 ERA and a 1.56 WHIP. When it comes to the total in this one, the Blue Jays are 11-6 to the under in Rogers Center. Meanwhile, Seattle's 60% to the under when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the Mariners plus 1.5, keeping this one close in the under 8 runs. Next matchup, it is going to be Astros taking on the Red Sox, 7:10 p.m. East. Boston's minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for Boston, Jose Urquidy for Houston. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, the Red Sox have seen plenty of unders at Fenway. They're 10-4 to the under in front of their home fans this year. The Sox are also 25-10 to the under for the entire season at any location. Meanwhile, Houston, on the other side of things, they've seen a bunch of unders when they travel as well. These guys are currently 17-6 to the under on the road. They're also 72% to the under for the entire season at any location. When it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my extra daily bet on Pt.2 here today. And I'm 5-1 in my last 6 plays in that package. But as far as making a free pick, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the under 8.5 in that ball game. Next matchup, White Sox Royals game 2. That's going to be a 7:10 Eastern start time. Chicago's minus 150, total 7 runs. Now, we don't have a confirmed starter yet for Chicago for game 2. Brady Singer, he should be, he's probable for the Royals on the other side of things. Now, Singer's got just under 6 innings of work under his belt this year, and those weren't very good innings. He's officially got a 6.35 ERA and a 1.41 WHIP. And even if he does end up throwing a gem here today, I'm just not so sure he's going to get the run support he needs. The Royals are currently in the bottom 3 in the majors in home scoring. Now, they're taking on a White Sox club who got the dub in 6 out of their last 10. And they also have a winning record on the road. And as far as making contact with the baseball, well, this White Sox lineup leads the majors in fewest strikeouts at the plate. So these guys have been very tough to strike out. Now, Luis Robert, he's fanned only 15 times and 107 at-bats this season. He's also batting .308 with 5 home runs and 20 runs scored. Meanwhile, Timmy Anderson, he's hitting .339 with 62 total bases. When it comes to the number in this one, 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings fell under the posted number. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, the Royals are also 63% to the under at Kauffman Stadium. Meanwhile, the White Sox are 21-13 to the under for the entire year themselves. I'm going to lean toward the White Sox minus 150 in the under 7 runs. Next contest, Pirates Cubs 7:40 East. The Cubbies are minus 140, total 7.5. Keegan Thompson for Chicago, JT Brubaker for Pittsburgh. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh's gone 4-2 to the under in their last 6 outings. Unders against the likes of Cincinnati, the Dodgers, and this very Cubs team. They also saw 3 out of Brubaker's last 5 starts fall under the line as well. Meanwhile, Chicago went 3-1 to the under in their last 4 themselves. When it comes to selecting a winner, this game is being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on Brockpage.com here today, where I'm 2-0 in my last 2 bets in that category. So if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line or the run line in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on Brockpage.com. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the under 7.5 in that ball game. Next contest, Braves Brewers 7:40 East. Milwaukee's minus $1.20, totals 8 runs. Adrian Hauser for Milwaukee. Tucker Davidson for Atlanta. I'm going to lean toward the under 8 runs in that ball game. Next matchup, Angels, Rangers, 8:05 East. The LA Angels are minus $1.25, totals 8.5. Reed Detmers for Los Angeles, Taylor Hearn for Texas. Now, Hearn's been getting into a bunch of trouble in his starts this year. He's got a 5.26 ERA and a 1.64 whip. And even if he has a good outing here, the Rangers have struggled at the plate this season. They're batting just .216 as a team. And they're also in the bottom 5 in team OPS. They're taking on Reed Detmers, who's having a great start to the year himself. 3.77 ERA and a .84 whip. Meanwhile, offensively, the Angels are led by Mike Trout, who's got 9 home runs and a 1.072 OPS. And speaking of OPS, Taylor Ward, leads the club with a 1.225 OPS, along with 8 home runs. Now, no real surprise here. The Angels are amongst the highest scoring teams in the American League right now. When it comes to the total, 8 out of these teams' last 10 gatherings did get over the posted number. The Angels are also 12-7 to the over as the official road team. Meanwhile, the Rangers are 13-7 to the over at Globe Life Field. I'm going to lean toward the Angels minus $1.25 and the over 8.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Giants taking on the Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. San Francisco is minus 150, totals 11. Alex Cobb for San Francisco, Chad Kuhl for Colorado. And even though the Rockies have been pretty bad here recently, they do have a fighting chance with Kuhl on the bump. He's 3-1 on the season with a 2.88 ERA and a 1.02 whip. And even though Colorado's fallen to a game under 500, they're still winning 60% of their contests at Coors Field. CJ Cron, he's hit 9 home runs and has 27 RBI. He's actually in the top 10 in the bigs right now in home runs, RBI, and OPS. Meanwhile, Jose Iglesias is batting .304 with 13 runs scored. Now, no real, shocker here. Colorado's leading the majors right now in home scoring. They're taking on a Giants club who failed to cash in on the run line in 3 out of their last 4 road games. Now, their pitching staff has also had a tough time keeping runners off the base paths. They're currently in the bottom 5 in the majors right now in opponents' batting average. Despite suffering only 1 loss on the year, Alex Cobb's whip has crept up to a 1.38. Now, total-wise, San Francisco's 70% to the over in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, Colorado saw their last 4 straight at Coors Field get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Colorado plus 1.5 and the over 11 runs. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Twins taking on the Athletics, 9:40 Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus 135, total 7 runs. Dylan Bundy for Minnesota, James Kaprielian for Oakland. Now, Kaprielian's off to a pretty rough start this year. He's got an 0-2 record with a 4.97 ERA and a 1.42 whip. The A's have also lost 4 out of their last 5. They do a terrible job getting the W at home. Matter of fact, these guys have gotten the W in just 5 out of 19 contests at the Coliseum. They're currently dead last in home scoring offensively. Now, they're taking on a Twins team who's done a real nice job hitting for power. Byron Buxton's currently 2nd in the majors right now in home runs with 11 of them. Meanwhile, teammate Jorge Polanco leads the team in RBI with 21. And even though Dylan Bundy's had a couple of shaky outings, he still comes into today's ball game with a 3-2 record on the season. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, Minnesota's gone 60% to the under when they travel. They're also 23-13 to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, Oakland, on the other side of things, they are 12-7 to the under in the Coliseum. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota minus $1.35. And the under 7 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Diamondbacks taking on the Dodgers, Game 2. That's going to be a 10:10 Eastern first pitch. The LA Dodgers are -$2, total 7.5. Tyler Anderson for Los Angeles, Merrill Kelly for Arizona. Now the D-backs are currently on a 3-game losing streak. They also dropped 4 out of their last 5. Now Arizona's also had a tough time getting on base this season. They're batting just .203 as a team, and they currently rank nearly dead last in team batting average. They're taking on a Dodger pitching staff who allows under 3.3 runs a game themselves. They also have Tyler Anderson on the mound here today, who's 3-0 in the season with a 1.12 whip. But most important for Dodger backers here is this team's ability to score runs. These guys are actually averaging more runs per contest than any other team in the majors right now. When it comes to the number in this one, LA's last 5 straight at Dodger Stadium got over the posted number. They were also 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Diamondbacks are currently 60% to the over as the away team. I'm going to lean toward the LA Dodgers -1.5 and the over 7.5 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at Pt.2, where I'm currently 5-0 my last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on that website. I like Miami -160, over 8.5. Give me Tampa Bay -1.5, under 7 runs. I'm also, I have no free pick for Game 2 of the Cardinals-Mets game. I just have no pick for that game. No free pick, no paid pick, no pick for Game 2 of the Cards-Mets game. Not interested. Next matchup, Phillies -115, over 8.5. Orioles +1.5, under 8.5. Give me Seattle +1.5, under 8 runs. I also like the under 8.5 in the Houston-Boston game. Give me the White Sox -150, under 7 runs. I also like the under 7.5 in the Pirates-Cubbies game. Give me the under 8 in the Braves-Brewers game as well. I also like the Angels -$1.25, over 8.5. Give me Colorado +1.5, over 11. Minnesota -$1.35, under 7 runs. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that I'm also 2-0 my last 2 $1.99 daily best plays on Brockpage.com. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. Give me the Dodgers -1.5 and the over 7.5 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at Brockpage.com.